Today, I'm not telling you the story of a billionaire. I'm telling you the story of a child who made a mistake that eventually built a $150 billion empire. This is the untold beginning of Warren Buffett's journey, and it all started with just $114. Warren Buffett wasn't born rich. In fact, he began chasing money before he even understood what it truly meant. At age 6, he bought a six-pack of Coca-Cola bottles for 25 cents and sold each bottle for a nickel. That tiny profit lit a spark inside him. By the time he was 11, he was waking up at 4:30 a.m. to deliver newspapers, earning more than many adults during the Great Depression. Buffett wasn't just working, he was learning discipline, patience, and effort. Everything he is today began with these simple early habits. At age 11, Buffett walked into a brokerage office with the confidence of someone far older than he really was. He had spent months delivering newspapers, saving every coin, and now he was finally ready to make his first big move. He bought 3 shares of Citi Service Preferred for $38 each, a massive amount of money for a child in the 1930s. For Buffett, this wasn't just a purchase. It was the beginning of a journey, a moment he had dreamed about for years. But soon after he bought the shares, the price dropped sharply to $27. For the first time in his life, Buffett felt real financial fear. He watched the numbers fall day after day, feeling powerless, anxious, and frustrated. Every dollar he earned through hard work seemed to disappear in front of his eyes. He didn't just feel like he was losing money, he felt like he was losing control. That fear stayed with him. It planted a seed, a lesson he would spend decades perfecting. As the days passed, the price of Citi Service slowly began to recover. It crawled back from $27 to $30, then $35, and finally reached $40. For most investors, this would have been a small relief, but for an 11-year-old boy who had watched his savings collapse, it felt like a second chance to escape. Buffett didn't think about the long-term value of the company. He didn't ask whether the business was strong or weak. He didn't wonder what the stock might do in the next few years. He only wanted one thing: to stop feeling afraid. So the moment the price hit $40, he sold all of his shares. On paper, he had made a small profit. He had turned fear into a tiny win. But just a few weeks later, the same stock shot up, past $50, then $100, and eventually over $200. Buffett realized something painful but powerful. His mistake wasn't buying the stock. His mistake was selling it too early. He hadn't lost money. He had lost the opportunity to let time do its work. That regret would stay with him for the rest of his life. That early mistake became one of the most important turning points of his life. Buffett understood something that most adults never truly learn. The market will always move up and down, but your emotions don't have to follow. He looked back at Citi Service and asked himself a hard question. If I had simply waited, if I had trusted my original decision, how different would the outcome be? He realized that fear had forced him to think in days and weeks, while real wealth is created over years and decades. From that moment, Buffett began to train himself to think like a business owner, not a gambler watching prices on a screen. He would later sum this up in a simple rule: the best investment decisions are made with patience, not emotion. That promise he made to himself, to never let panic drive his actions again, did more for his future net worth than any single stock pick he ever made. It didn't make him rich overnight, but it shaped the mindset that would eventually make him one of the richest people in history. As Buffett moved into his teenage years and early 20s, he became obsessed with one thing: understanding how businesses really worked. While his friends were thinking about parties, hobbies, and social life, Buffett was buried in books. He spent his evenings reading annual reports, studying balance sheets, and trying to understand what separated a great company from an average one. He didn't see the stock market as a place to trade pieces of paper. He saw it as a marketplace of real companies, each with factories, employees, products, and customers. If he could understand the story behind the numbers, he believed he could make better decisions than the crowd. He also discovered something else. Most people weren't willing to do this kind of work. They wanted quick tips, hot stocks, and shortcuts. Buffett wanted none of that. He was building something different, a mindset based on research, patience, and conviction. He realized that if he could stay rational while everyone else was emotional, he wouldn't need to be the smartest or the fastest. He would simply need to be the most consistent. That was his real edge. Not predicting the next big thing, but deeply understanding the present and acting calmly while others overreacted. Over time, Buffett began to see a pattern in his own life. The more years he stayed invested, the more powerful his results became. He often used a simple image to explain this: a snowball rolling down a long hill. At the top, the snowball is small and almost meaningless. It doesn't look impressive. It doesn't scare anyone. But as it keeps rolling, as it gathers more snow, more weight, more momentum, it becomes unstoppable. This is how compounding works with money. At first, your gains seem tiny. You might invest for a year and think, all of this effort for this small result. But what you're really doing is building a base that the future will grow on. Buffett didn't become a billionaire in his 20s. He didn't even become truly rich in his 30s. Most of his massive net worth came after decades of staying in the game, reinvesting profits, and refusing to interrupt the process. By his 50s and 60s, the snowball finally reached the steep part of the hill. His wealth didn't just grow, it accelerated. The numbers stopped looking like income and started looking like a force of nature. That is the quiet magic of compounding. It rewards those who are willing to wait longer than everyone else. Today, Warren Buffett is worth over $150 billion. People see the headlines, the rankings, the fortune, but the lesson that shaped him the most didn't come from billions. It came from the fear of losing his first $114 and the realization that he had sold too soon. That small, early mistake forced him to build a different relationship with time, risk, and emotion. His story proves something powerful. You don't need to start with a lot to end up with a lot. You don't need secret tricks or hidden shortcuts. What you truly need is a long enough time horizon, the discipline to stay consistent, and the courage to keep going when your results still look small. Buffett turned $114 into an empire, not because he was perfect, but because he learned from his mistakes and gave compounding the one thing it needs most: time. And if he could do that starting as a scared 11-year-old kid, imagine what you could build if you gave your own decisions the same patience. Before we end this video, let me leave you with 10 timeless lessons from Warren Buffett. Principles that shape not only his fortune, but his character. The most important investment you can make is in yourself. Price is what you pay, value is what you get. Risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. The best thing you can do is learn every single day. Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree long ago. Do not save what is left after spending. Spend what is left after saving. Time is the friend of the wonderful business. It is better to hang out with people better than you. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. These 10 principles guided Buffett for more than 70 years. And if you apply even one of them, your financial life will never be the same again. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new today, consider leaving a like and sharing your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more stories like this, don't forget to subscribe. Your support helps the channel grow and reach more people. Thank you for watching.